ستارت ابس يفوتوا في هذا المجال الويب 3.
حط الأوتو فوكس.
فكان حجم الاستثمار في الويب 3 في 2022 حول العالم 9.2 بليون. فنقدر نحكي يعني انه هاي السنه هي كانت الكيك ستارت لموضوع الويب 3. فبشكل عام الويب 3 ديسنترلايزد ويب، الاسيتس فيه هي NFTs نحكي عنها كمان شوي، والكرنسي اللي عليه هي كريبتو كرنسي، انت بتستخدم الكريبتو كرنسي. والويب 3 مبني على التكنولوجي اللي هي البلوك تشين اللي هي ساعدت بوجود الويب 3 اصلا. يعني هي بالاخر تكنولوجي IT وديفلوبرز اخترعوها، بس هي فتحت المجال للويب 3
because of its decentralized nature.
بالضبط.
Thank you very much for this introduction. Ali, I'm going to move to you now. We have the Web3 ecosystem in front of us, and we can see how many verticals or how many technologies sit under the Web3 umbrella. In terms of unlocking opportunities, where do you see artists and creators starting? How should they start dabbling with these technologies? And does this require reskilling, upskilling, or maybe their skills are transferable?
Yes.
Yes.
السكيلز بالويب 3 extremely transferable. ويعني من اسهل القصص اللي مثلا خلينا ناخذ اكزامبل 3 دي illustrator اللي هو بيعمل 3 دي بالويب او بالحياه الطبيعيه خارج الويب 3، اللي يقدر يبيع السكيل تبعه بالويب 3 بس بتكلفه الخبريه انه يفوت يعمل اكونت فور اكزامبل باستوديو تبع ديسنترلاند. he sells his skills هنيك، بحط انه السكيلز اللي عنده اياها تو بي هايرد لعالم عم تشتغل اكسبيرينس بالميتافيرس، لعالم بدها تعمل ويربلز بالميتافيرس، او حتى ليعمل ابنيه بالميتافيرس. نفس السكيل اكزاكتلي، بس الفكره انه يكون عم يفتح ماركت جديد. هيدا اذا عم نحكي بالفيجوال ارتس، يعني بالفيجوال ارتست في عندنا هيدا الفكتور فينا نروح باتجاهه. وغير انه في عندنا مثلا البراندز المعروفه هلا بلشت كثير عم تستكشف هيدا العالم من خلال توظيف جرافيك ديزاينرز ليعملوا NFTs للويالتي بروجرامز مثلا، ليعملوا لاثبات ملكيه او لاثبات الاوثنتسيتي للقطعه اللي عم تنباع عم تكون عم تترافق مع NFT مثلا. هول كلهم فرص عمل بيجوا للجرافيك ارتستس من دون ما يتعلموا شيء جديد كومبليتلي. وفي تبع الميوزيشنز اذا بدك نحكي عنهم كمان، في الميتافيرس تحديدا عم تفتح للميوزيشنز عالم جديد ما كنا بنقدر نتخيله صراحه قبل. يعني في عندك تحديدا الاندبندنت ميوزيشنز صاروا قادرين يوصلوا بيوند الحدود تبعهم، بطلوا تحت رحمه شركه الانتاج، لانه صار قادر يعمل حفله بالميتافيرس يقدروا يحضروا بجنوب افريقيا، هو هون موجود بالشرق الاوسط بلا ما يكون بده شركه انتاج ترعاه وتبعته. بلس الويل استابليشد ارتستس مثلا ترافيس سكوت مش من زمان عمل حفله بميتافيرس 11 مليون اتندي، يعني هذا رقم خيالي وتاريخي. فيعني حتى الفرص عم بتكون لكل انواع الارتستس على كل الاصعده، ان كان ميوزك او فيجوال ارتستس من دون ما تتعلم شيء كومبليتلي، لا بل اريح. يعني الميوزيشن في يعمل حفله من بيته صار.
I would like to go back to this slide, how we are unlocking opportunities through Web3. Maybe we can talk a little bit about it, and then I'm going to jump to Natalie and talk about your NFT journey. Ali, we're talking about direct artist-to-fan engagement, decentralized content creation and curation, as Leith was saying, and royalty tracking and fair compensation. So I know that Taksir has been very big on these three verticals as well. So maybe we can talk about this.
هلا نبلش بالدايركت ارتست تو فان انجيجمنت. الحلو اللي عم بيصير بالويب 3 والبلوك تشين انه حولت الفان اللي كان نيجاتيف كونسيومر، يعني كان مستهلك سلبي بيدفع بس مصاري، بيستهلك الفن او بيحضر الفن وما بيكسب شيء بالمقابل مادي، او بيكون بس عم يصرف المصاري بيسكلي. بينما هلا نحن قادرين نحول الفن لمستثمر ايجابي. يعني بيقدر مثلا لنعتبر اذا بنحكي بالفن الموسيقي اللي بدي احكي عن الN.F.T مش الN.F.T اذا ممكن، اللي هي ميوزك فانجبل توكنز، اللي هي مثلا اذا هلا الفرعي الفنان بده يعمل البوم جديد بدل ما يروح عند شركه انتاج لتفرض عليه الشروط اللي بده يشتغل عليها وبده تفرض عليه الكلمات اللي بده يستعملها وامتى بده ينزل الالبوم وكل هول الشروط اللي بنعرفها، في يعمل اصدار مبكر للالبوم تبعه through N.F.Ts. يعني اذا اجوا مثلا بيقدر يبيع 30% من الرويالتيز لعالم يعني الفان بيس تبعوله، بمول الالبوم تبعوله وبصيروا هن شركاء ب 30% من الرويالتيز بس ينباع الالبوم من الحفلات اللي بده يعملها، اذا استعملت الموسيقى بدعايه او بموفي كل انواع الرويالتيز بيصيروا شركاء معه. هيك بتصير اصلا بتتغير العلاقه بين الفان والارتست، وبصير مش بس بصير انفستر وبالتالي ماركتير. يعني كمان بنكون عم نفتح نوع جديد من الماركتينج وورد اوف ماوث، لانه بس يكون الفان مستهلك سلبي مش حتعتمد كثير عليه، بس لما يكون في عنده ستيك ماديه بالموضوع ديفنتلي حيكون عم بيسوق للالبوم. اكزاكتلي انسنتيفايزنج ذم ليقدر يسوق للفنان تبعه، بنبطل بنفك مركزيه ساعتها القرار من ناحيه الماركتينج ومن ناحيه الانتاجات الفنيه على بكل الشروط اللي بتحطها شركات الانتاج. وزياده على الموضوع بنصير قادرين نوصل لفان بيز اكبر بكثير، اللي هو كمان بيسمح لنا انه ناخذ حريتنا بالابتكار، لانه غالبا لما تكون كثير نيش العالم اللي عم نحكي معه بالفن حنكون شوي يعني ايفنشلي حنصير مرتبطين بذوقه. يعني كل شيء بدنا نقصده بده يصير انه هيدا بده يشتريه بدنا نعرف اذا حيحبه ولا لا، واذا كان في عندك 10 مليون حدا ممكن يشتروه ديفنتلي حتلاقي حدا بيحب الفن اللي انت بتعمليه.
Thank you very much. I'm going to pass my next question to Natalie. So Natalie is a digital artist who has been dabbling with NFT since 2021, and her very first collection was sold out, and she has been getting a lot of she's been doing well, alhamdulillah. And you had exhibitions, all over the world, in New York, in Kuwait. So really interested in your journey as an artist, and tell us from the beginning, how did you hear about NFTs until you sold the collection?
فمبدئيا انا بلشت كفوتوغرافر وكنت ابيع ماي ديجيتال ارت هون بالاردن، وكان في معارض كنت احاول اشارك فيهم بس ما كان يجي لي هالقد opportunities وين I can monetize واعمل مصاري واقدر يعني ما كان يجي enough to sustain، فكان لازم الاقي فول تايم جوب. بعدين حدا من اصحابي حكوا لي ايش رايك عن الويب 3؟ انا زي اوكي ليش هاد؟ بلشت اعمل ريسيرش بس بشوف بلوك تشين كريبتو كرنسيز مش فاهمه ولا شيء. بلشت فتحت يوتيوب، بلشت اطلع على ويب سايتس، اقرا اشياء مقالات عن الويب 3 عشان شوي افهم وما عم بستوعب. اخذني كثير وقت لاستوعب، وبس لا استوعبت لاحظت انه هو عالم ثاني بيقدر يفتح ابواب لكثير ناس خاصه لفنانين. هلا الحلو عن الويب 3 انه نزلت اول صوره اوكي بالاي منتد، شفت فتحت يوتيوب دربت كيف تو منتد، اي منتد، عملت ولد كله تمام، ما انباعت. فقلت اوكي خليني انزل كمان وحده، نزلت كمان صوره ما انباعت، شككت بحالي انا زي اوف يمكن انا فني مو حلو. بعدين لاحظت انه الويب 3 مش بس انه تحط فنك وخلص، اتس ا ويب 3 كوميونتي، في ناس لازم مرات تحكي معاهم من حوالين العالم، تتعرف عن حالك. انا من الاردن بعمل هذا الفن عشان انسبريشن عن وادي رام، افهمهم شو يعني وادي رام، اتعرف على الكولكتر اللي قدامي، ببعث له مسج على تويتر، في شيء اسمه تويتر سبيسز اذا سمعتوا بكلوب هاوس، وين الواحد بيقدر يطلع على ستيج ويحكي مع ناس حوالين العالم. فانا كنت اطلع استحي اوليتها، بعدين ابلش احكي عن فني، ومن هناك شوي صرت ابيع، وبعدين بعت ماي كولكشن وتعرفت على اكثر ناس. بس الحلو عن الموضوع انه هلا طبعا اذا عرفتوا الماركت نازل، خلينا نكون واقعيين كمان، وما في هالقد مبيعات، بس هلا هو الوقت لكل ارتست، اذا في ارتست هون موجودين، انه يبلشوا يعملوا ريسيرش، يتعلموا عن الموضوع، يعرفوا ايش يعني الويب 3 عشان ما في عجقه. وبعدين بالفيوتشر بس الامور ترجع زي ما كانت زمان، يكون عنده الواحد فرصه انه يقدر to be successful بهيك سبيس.
So the essence is actually building a community and talking directly to your fans or potential buyers.
خاصة collectors. يعني هلا بالتراديشنال ارت سين واحد بيشتري فنك ما عمرك حتتعرف عليه، بس بالويب 3 في كوميونيتي، في ترانزاكشن بالبلوك تشين وين تقدر ترجع عليها تشوف الولد، تشوف مين هذا الكولكتر، وحتى to be able to contact them. ومن هناك كولكتر بحكي لكولكتر، وحتى الارتست بالكوميونتي في ارت جروب بدعموا بعض، بدعموا بعض. ففي سبورت، هذا الحلو. وباي كوميونتي كمان بالاردن، فور اكزامبل IDare والاورجنايزيشن اللي بيعملوها، هاي كوميونتي، هاي سبورت. فبحس هذا هو it's a very important point.
Absolutely, thank you very much, Natalie. I'm going to jump to you, Jimmy, since you cater to artists like Natalie. Jimmy is the co-founder of Oasis X, which is the leading NFT ecosystem in the MENA region now. What is Oasis X doing to empower artists like Natalie and more artists from the Arab world into making, the space easier for them, making it more accessible? Especially that we know that there are a lot of NFT marketplaces that have been actively not involving Jordan and some Arab countries in their scene. So please tell us more.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Jemil, co-founder of Oasis X. Oasis X is the leading NFT ecosystem in the MENA region. What we do, well, we're comprised of 3 parts. The first part is the curated NFT marketplace. So a marketplace that's safe and secure for users and artists to trade digital collectibles, whether it be art, photography, music, a short video, a poem, anything you want. The second part is the no-code creator studio, and this is when we created it, it was first be seen. So basically, it's a software that helps any digital creator create their NFTs on the blockchain without any line of code. Usually, the biggest problem with an artist or an upcoming digital creator is the technological barrier, which is them understanding what the blockchain is, how to create wallets, how to create a minting website, and creating a smart contract for your digital collectible. So we streamlined the whole process from A to Z. If you have the artwork done, you can come and create your NFTs within minutes at a highly reduced cost, if not for free, as an upcoming artist, and within a very short time period, as you said. The third part, وهون وين صارت بالفترة، لأنه من وقت ما قلعنا البلاتفورم لاحظنا إنه artists like Natalie طيب عنا الارت ورك نحن وحطينا الارت ورك على البلوكشين، طيب ما عم نقدر نبيع، شو لازم نعمل؟ Natalie was early on, so she had to do the research herself. What we ended up doing is also managing artists, kind of. So telling them what to do, where to put their efforts after they create their NFTs. Because it's not just enough to... What you're doing when you're creating an NFT is putting your digital artwork on the blockchain. That's it, nothing else. You have to sell it. You have to be a salesperson as well. And as the first point of contact, you're not putting it in a gallery. There's not somebody selling it for you. You're the salesperson as well. So the job is not done. We tell you how to drop your NFTs. We give you some strategy, given what your NFTs are related to. And we tell you where to go and market it, and which communities to be part of, and which Twitter spaces to enter. And we do our own Twitter spaces, which are basically a digital room, you want to say, where people can talk to each other and present their work. And that's where you can come up and say who you are, what you are, where you get your inspiration, and then we promote you on our social networks. So that, because within the first year, this is what we were doing actively without knowing, we decided to add the third part, which is managing projects. So now we get the resources that you need, we build your community, we handhold you from A to Z, we create the NFTs for you, the drop strategy, the pricing, the market research, everything. So this is what we do in a nutshell. And the reason why we started this and why we positioned ourselves in Dubai is because of what our colleague here just said, is that basically the MENA region was left in the dark. When we started trading NFTs, we noticed that the main marketplaces were in Europe and mostly in the US, of course, OpenSea, the behemoth, first mover and biggest marketplace for a long time now. So we decided that we needed to put our information together and create a platform for the MENA, because there are a lot of artists and there are a lot of big traders also, but no platform to cater to them. And we registered our company in Dubai, and it's been going very well. So now we have around 470 vetted artists from the MENA region and the world, but 88% are from the MENA. And yeah, that's about it.
Congratulations.
Thank
It's
you so
something you have like solved a problem, which is how businesses should work. They should solve a problem. So thank you very much for creating the space for the artists. My next question is going to be for Lay and Ali. I'm going to start with you, Lay. Let's talk about something that Ali touched upon, is how Web3 is turning the end consumer from a passive consumer to an active stakeholder. How is this happening, and what verticals is facilitating this transition?
يعني هلا راح اعطي مثال. انا بلشت بلشت في عالم ال NFTs والويب 3 تقريبا ب 2021 بشهر 5. انا اصلا بشتغل كمان شوي ديجيتال ارت، فشفت هاي الفرصه قدامي فصار بدي اجرب، فبلشت انزل شغلي از NFTs على ماركت بليسز ال NFTs. عرارة كان ايامها يعني. خلال فترة بسيطة صار في ناس عم تشتري هذا الشغل، وصار في الكوميونتي في عالم ال NFTs والويب 3 جلوبال، ما في حدود في هذا العالم، ما في دول. يعني أي حدا بيعجبه شغلك أو الكونتنت اللي أنت عم تنزله راح يدعمك، يعني في سبورت، والكوميونتي ممبرز اللي عايشين في الويب 3 سبورتيف تو ايتش اذر الصراحة. فبلشوا الناس يعني يشتروا أعمالي اللي كانت على هذا الويب سايت. هلا انا على ماركت بليس بعت وكنت اشتري كمان NFTs على هذا الماركت بليس. بالمقابل الماركت بليس نفسه كان يدعمني غير البيع بالكريبتو كرنسي تاعتهم اللي هي راري، فكان يجيني توكنز عشاني مشارك في هاي الماركت بليس. هاي التوكنز لها قيمه ماديه، وكمان بتمكنك انك تساهم في اي قرار بدهم ياخذوه هذول الفاوندرز او الشركه تاعت الماركت بليس. فبس يعني باختصار.
Thank you very much. علي.
إلى نكفي على الديسنتراليزيشن تبع يعني حتى بس الكونسيومر اللي عم يتحول لانفستور، عم يتحول مثل ما كان عم بيقول اول شيء ليس عم بيصير هو عم يشارك باداره بلاتفورم، بس نحن كمان صرنا قادرين ناخذها بيوند هذا الموضوع شوي. يعني مثل هلا اذا بدك كمان نرجع شوي على الميوزك، على مثلا اذا نعمل ميوزك فيستيفال، في يكون في صار فينا نعمل ميوزك فيستيفال ديسنترلايزد، which means انه نحن قادرين نبيع early bird tickets مثلا للعالم اللي بدها اللي حتمول هيدا الفيستيفال. بنصير نحن من يعني كحاملين بطاقات لهيدا الفيستيفال قادرين نقرر اي متى بده يكون، وين بده يكون، مين اللاين اب اوف ميوزيشنز اللي بدنا نشوفهم. هول القصص اللي كانوا قبل ينفرضوا علينا ينفرضوا علينا ونصير نحن بدنا نبرم حواليهم، صرنا قادرين ناخذ قرارات فيها بطريقه افضل. والاحسن من هيك طبعا اذا صار هيدا الفيستيفال مربح بنكون رح نتقاسم الارباح بطبيعه الحال. هلا في عندنا كمان ما بعرف اذا بنحكي عن تفريط الملكيه بموضوع الانفستمنتس، بهذا الموضوع كمان الفراكشناليزيشن اوف اونرشيب.
Absolutely, it's one of the paradigm shifts that we want to talk about. عم تثبت.
طيب قلت السؤال.
I'm gonna move to the next question.
Okay.
Which is good because your ideas are very well woven together because it all ties up, and that's so. My next question, I would like everyone to pitch in, even Jimmy and Natalie, about the paradigm shift of what Web3 is doing in the space, and especially in democratizing the art trade. So, how do you see this paradigm shift happening? What do you understand from it, and how do you see it reflecting on generations to come?
هلا في شيء كثير مهم انا لاحظته للمجتمع العربي. احنا عندنا فرصه كمان نتطور بهاي السبيس. ليش؟ عشان في اشخاص بيقدروا يلاقوا شغل بس من موبايلهم through the blockchain و through opportunities. حتى فنان ما بده يكون فنان بده يلاقي شغل ثاني بقدر يلاقي شغل من موبايله. بحس هذا الشيء بقدر اشوفه بالمستقبل لنا كمجتمع عربي.
Thank you, Natalie. Jimmy?
Yeah, the way I see it, what we're doing now is actually removing middlemen. That's how I see it, kind of in a nutshell, in general. As a digital artist today, or a fabricator, or anything, to get the exposure you need to put it in a gallery, put your artwork or your creation in a gallery. So somebody has to take care of the marketing for you and you pay for it. And that usually art galleries today take around 30 to 50% of the artwork. Which means that once you sell it, that transaction happened at the hand of the gallerist, and your name is on the painting, but when it gets transferred, that's it. That's all you own is little real estate on that artwork. Whereas with blockchain, with NFTs, you retain your royalties with every transaction. معناتها في كمالية للشغل اللي بتضل عم بتفوت عائلات. ليش؟ لأنه كل مرة بنرجع بنبيع NFT من إيد لإيد ثانية عم بيطلع لنا نحن نسبة كالمخترع. هيدا شيء كثير مهم لأنه بيأمن مصلحة المخترع للأجيال لقدام، حتى لعائلته إذا لا سمح الله بطلعنا ورجعت انباعت في royalties that are getting retained عم بيفوتوا على a wallet that they own. So this is very important. And as the NFT technology in general, we wanted to also cut the middleman, which is the developer in the development of an NFT, because an up-and-coming artist doesn't have the capital to launch their own website, because there is this gray area that developers benefit from because they know that what you don't know, and they overprice. So when we came up with the idea to kind of streamline this process is to also remove a middleman. So it's kind of taking full ownership of your creation and then being able to co-create and to share and to transact with other creators as well.
بس حابة بس أزيد شغلة كمان الحلو إنه عن الرويالتيز الواحد عنده سمارت كونتراكت زي عقد وين الفنان بيقدر يعمل عقد تاعه ويحط قد ايه برسنتج بده لما تنباع هاي البيس اوف ارت ورك، قد ايه ريتيرن بده لما تنباع مرة مرتين، بدي 15% من هاي البيعة كل مرة تنباع، وهيك بيضلوا في دخل كونسيستنت زي ما الجميع كان عم بيحكي.
سوري بس حزيد بعد شغلة كمان about our creator studio. So even more diving deeper into really having full ownership of your smart contract, we also added a way to split the beneficiaries from the beginning. So let's say you're within a project or your business or a brand, and you have a team that's working that will have to also profit from initial sales and from resales. We gave you the capability to add different wallets that will be beneficiaries with percentages and everything. So we really create a digital work becomes kind of a company itself with the people involved, with the roadmap and where it's going to be sold and for how much and how the funds will be split. So things are becoming even more tools for artists and creators are coming about, and we're trying to help as much as we can for you guys.
That's amazing to see how technology, especially blockchain and smart contracts, are empowering creators and even in the CCI realm, if we want to speak, this technology, and we always see technologies used for the bad and the good, and this is the first technology maybe that has been tailored to artists in order to empower them, absolutely. Yes, Ali, I'm very interested in knowing more about collector DAOs because we've been having this conversation in my short time in Beirut. And we're talking about collector DAOs and the art scene, especially the niche art scene. So maybe you can tell us about that.
اوكي هلا يوجوالي من اصعب القصص اللي للارت انثوزياست ليفوتوا ليصيروا كولكترز او يقدروا يقتنوا شويه ارت هي الاسعار العاليه اللي ما بتخليهم يفوتوا قبل خالص. ففي شيء اسمه كولكترز داو هلا في شويه فاين ارت انثوزياست ما بيحبوهم بس بصير فينا اذا بدك يعني ليتس سي نحن موجودين هاي بالقاعه ليتس اسيوم انه نحن 100 شخص وكل حدا بيحط $1000 بهيدا، نحن بصير في عندنا $100,000 بهيدا الداو اللي نحن كولكتيفلي بناخذ الديسيجن فيه. and let's say انه انا عجبتني لوحه عملتها نتالي او شروق الامين او حدا من الفنانين اللي عندنا بالمنطقه. So I do a proposal انه let's buy this piece of art.
ان شاء الله نتالي you're gonna sell your art in 100K.
So نعمل فوتينج بطبيعه الحال مثل موضوع الداوز اللي كنا عم نحكي عنه قبل شوي. نعمل فوتينج على هيدي البيس اوف ارت، واذا نجح الفوتينج we buy it. We buy it in order to flip it later بس يغلى السعر، فينا بس نخلي تضل عندنا as a collection، فينا نأجرها للميوزيوم، فينا نحن ourselves بس يصير في عندنا كذا بيس اوف ارت نعمل our exhibition ان كان virtual او live exhibition. هيدي الفكره من الكولكترز ده، ومثل كمان بترجع مثل الاكزامبل تبع الموسيقيين اللي هي ببطل كمان مربوط الفنان if he needs to produce، ببطل مربوط بذوق شركه الانتاج او شركه الجاليري. مثل ما كانت عم تخبرنا نتالي انه ما كانت عم تقدر تعرض عملها لانه ما عم بيكون في مين يدعمها قبل ما يكون في هيدا الموضوع. فالفكره انه بالبلوك تشين عم بتخلي الفن يصير مور اكسسبل وقادر يوصل لكميه اكبر من العالم، اللي هو لمصلحه الفنان اكثر من حتى مصلحه الجمهور اوقات بيكون، لان بصير في عنده حريه اكثر تبروديوس.
I'm going to jump from that question into the most important question of all, is localizing Web3 technologies. I remember when I came back to Beirut to visit my parents and my family, they were asking me like, what do you do? And I spent like 17 years explaining to them what I do and these technologies, what are they, how they're going to shape the world, and no one was understanding what I was saying. So I just told them I'm successful. But in the end, we have a very big gap in between the Arab world or the East. I hate the East-West narrative, but it is what it is. We have a very big gap, and this is a very big entry barrier to participating in Web3, which is the language and the tech jargon. I mean, even if, for example, I started my Web3 journey in London, and it took me a lot of time to understand the tech behind Web3. What about the Arab world? What are we doing for us?
هلا اول شيء اذا اهلي بيعرفوا بتعملي ما عم تشتغلي بلوك تشين.
They still don't know.
ايه يعني عم تشتغلي صح. مثل ما عم تقولي لارا، اللانجوج بارير كان عائق كثير كبير قدام تبني البلوك تشين بالمنطقه، ولا يصير في عندنا ماتشور اند بروبر ادوبشن كان لازم نكون عم نفهم عن شو عم نحكي. مرقنا قبل شوي حكيت مع عيسى عن ابجداو، بس بلشنا نحن بالتكسير اخذنا الانشيتيف انه نبلش بنعمل ميثودولوجيكال ديكشنري. يعني الهدف منه اكثر لتوحيد المصطلحات اكثر من انه نكون عم نلاقي المصطلح الصح، لان نحن هلا بعصر الانترنت، يعني مثل ما كلمه انترنت نحن ما بنستعملها شبكه عنكبوتيه، الناس بنشوف شو الاكثر القصص اللي بتسهل علينا الموضوع واللي خاصه لتقدر تساعدنا بعدين بالاس اي اوز، بس نكون عم نعمل على ريسيرش على حيلا ارتكل بدنا نقراها باللغه العربيه. فالفكره الهدف مثلا من ابجداو اللي هو توحيد مصطلحات تعتمد، بين كان واضح من وقت ما بلشت انا شخصيا وشريكي بلش عمار نفوت بالرابت هول تبع البلوك تشين. على الويب سايت تبع ايثيريوم باللغه العربيه مكتوبه كلمه ايثيريوم بنفس الارتكل بطريقتين مختلفتين، فالترجمه كانت عم بتكون ما عم تاخذ خاصيه اللغه العربيه بمطارح معينه، وبنفس الوقت ما عم تاخذ اختلاف اللهجات. يعني نحن مثلا الاختلاف بين اللهجه المغربيه واللهجه اللي بالخليج اكثر بكثير من الاختلاف بين الالماني والايطالي، هوليك لغتين ونحن لغه واحده. فالفكره انه الابجداو اخذ هول الاختلافات بعين الاعتبار، وجربنا قد ما فينا نكون عم نحكي كمان الكومن تونج لما نكون اليتست، انه مش الهدف كمان انه يكون حدا سوبر اكاديميك ليفهم عن شو عم نحكي، لانه هيدي التكنولوجي هي اصلا لتقدر تفيد مش اليتست. فالفكره فنحن بلشنا بهيدا الموضوع وعملنا ابجداو اللي هو هلا بتالف من 600 مصطلح يتطور عن ويك هافي، يعني باي كل 6 اشهر عم نعمل ابديت له، وبهالطريقه اللي عم تكون ديسنترلايزد، طبعا مع استشاره لغويين، بس الاولويه تكون ليكون انترنت فريندلي وريسيرش فريندلي اكثر لنقدر نوصل على المعلومه الصح.
Thank you so much. I know that you've provided the translators today with the glossary, so thank you, Taksir, for that. There's supposed to be a graph here that's not here, so I'm going to tell you about it. it's the hype graph or hype cycle, technological hype cycle of how technologies start and how the hype reaches its peak and then it settles down. So, Jimmy, let's talk beyond the hype. I mean, we've all seen the hype between 2021, 2022, and we are in a very painful bear market right now. So, how do you see these technologies being adopted beyond the hype, especially for different stakeholders, investors, consumers, and everyone in between? We saw like this craze of investors investing in anything, in all things Web3 in these couple of years, and we've seen that most of these projects or companies or startups have failed. So beyond the hype.
Okay, so just a bit of mustalahat. Bear market and bull market. Bull market is when the market is going up and everyone's happy. Bear market is when the market is bleeding or hurting. سوق خريفي وسوق ربيعي. So نحن هلا بسوق خريفي بامتياز كلنا وعم نطلع منه. نحن we launched a project كله in a bear market. So, but bear markets are good to build and to network and to build a good network and to ride the wave when things get better. بهالمعنى نحن, as you said, there was a lot of hype. A lot of people made a lot of money, or opposite to that, a lot of people lost a lot of money. And that regularly happens with any new technology. Any new technology anyways takes around seven years. Let's take the example of the credit card. People weren't trusting that a piece of plastic can buy them stuff, or how it worked. Same thing is happening now with NFTs. Cryptocurrency has been going through cycles and it's still here, so we trust in it. NFTs, it's their first cycle. So a lot of skepticism came up, and it's very normal. Beyond the hype, I believe NFTs will be, the word NFT won't really be used as much. It will be directly implemented in our daily lives, just like the credit card. Because today when you buy something with a credit card, you don't think of my bank speaking to whoever's selling this bank and the transaction happening and then the receipt coming. You just pay. And the same thing will happen with NFTs. Transfer with proof of ownership and proof of provenance of any digital asset on the blockchain. Free for anyone to engage with and easily accessible and by everyone. So I believe, and what we're eyeing, that's the question after. I truly believe beyond the hype, regulation, once regulation gets wraps their heads around this technology, which Dubai, the UAE, and our regions are pushing for, and this is what's keeping us in kind of a lead. Because if you read the news, the US, Europe, they're trying to regulate very hardly this technology, but the way they're doing it is by proving that you're guilty first and then you having to prove yourself why this should be regulated as a technology. Whereas in the UAE, this gray area that Ali was talking about before is a great place for us to flourish because we're not doing anything illegal. We're just doing something that the regulations haven't wrapped their head around. Doesn't mean it's bad. So they let us work and they actually work closely with us to regulate our activities.
Because people need regulations.
Definitely.
I mean, subconsciously, if something is not regulated. For example, crypto is decriminalized in a lot of countries, but decriminalization, this word is not really, it doesn't sit well with a lot of people.
Because there is criminal.
Criminal, exactly. And the same thing can go for AI. I mean, AI regulations are just being put in place, but you don't see the same, maybe, perception.
So, my small, 2 cents on this is that with these technologies that are built on code, regulation, in my opinion, should be done with code. With code that governs this technology, but not human regulation. Because there are a group of people that create the blockchain, but once it's live, it's a train that's ever going, right? So why not it govern itself and keep it decentralized? Because as us Lebanese here, we've had a very bad experience with centralized systems. So, in my opinion, in the near future, hopefully, if we can find a way to govern code by code, and then people would have more trust and would engage with the technology.
And because of the situation in Lebanon, people went creative because everyone lost their money through centralized banks and whatnot. They went a bit more creative and thought of other ways of, monetizing their work or, just making money. And that's why, surprisingly, Lebanon is one of the leading countries in the Middle East in terms of crypto
Blockchain
investments.
adoption, yeah.
Not a financial advice. This is not a financial advice. I'd like to also hear from late Natalie and Ali in terms of, as experts in the field, what do you see the most Web3 technology or technologies that will lead in the coming 5 to 10 years?
اوكي بس بدي بزيد شغله اللي كان عم بيقوله جيمي انه نحن نو واي نوصل للبروبر اند ماتشور ادوبشن بلا ما يكون في ريجوليشن. يعني الماتشور ادوبشن هي انه نحن ننزل هلا اشتري من الدكان قنينه المي بالكريبتو، ما حيستعمل صاحب الدكان ما حيستعمل الكريبتو اذا ما كانت ريجوليتد اند تاكس. وهذا شيء كثير ضروري. وكمان سوري بدي زيد على موضوع عم جد انه مثل ما اويسز على فكره عم بيستعملوه NFTs بالعربي معنا كمان عم بيستعملوه، صاروا في سولانا اللي مولت المشروع عم بيستعملوا صار قاموسها الاساسي وايثيريوم از ويل. هلا السؤال DeFi.
يعني what are your bets
DeFi.
on decentralized finance?
Yes, decentralized finance and innovation that it holds لمستقبل الفاينانس in general وتحديدا in personal finance terms. يعني مثل ما كان عم بيقول
So peer to peer.
Exactly. يعني مثل ما كان عم بيقول جيمي انه نحن هلا عم نشيل الميدل مان بالارت تريد، حاب اتصور انه نحن لازم كمان نوصل على محل نشيل الميدل مان بالفاينانس والانفستمنتس تبعنا، لان الديفاي بتقدم لنا هيدي الفرصه اتس مور اباوت فيريفاي دونت تراست فيريفاي. عاده نحن وي نيد تو تراست ذا بانك از Lebanese we don't anymore. فبس we verify الترانزاكشنز اللي عم نعملهم وما ضروري ندفع حق التراست anyway.
Nice. I support you on this one.
اوكي. انا صراحه المستقبل زي ما اول اللي كانوا اللي قبلينا كانوا عم بيحكوا انه ب5 سنين كيف وين بتشوف حالك، نفس الشيء عم بشوف البلوك تشين والويب 3. بعد سنه ما بنعرف ايش حيتغير، في كثير ناس عم يشتغلوا على اشياء احنا ما بنعرف عنها. بحس المستقبل بالعكس كثير كبير عشان في كثير مجالات، في كثير opportunities مش بس للارتست كمان لبزنس اونرز لانتربرينورز. زي ما كان عم يحكي جيمي انه في الميدل مان، هذا شيء كثير مهم خاصه لفنان. بالمستقبل فن حيكون appreciated بطريقه كثير غير من ما هلا، وكمان connections اهم شيء. احلى شيء عشان بالبلوك تشين في access لهدول الكونكشنز حوالين العالم بس through your phone, which is not happening in the traditional art scene.
So accessibility. Absolutely. Laith, and then I'll finish off with you too.
تمام. هلا كويب 3 نحن لسه في البدايه، يعني لسه في كثير بلاتفورمز رح تطلع، في كثير افكار رح تيجي، في تكنولوجيز ثانيه رح تفوت على الموضوع. بس يعني من هلا بلش يصير في سوشيال زي سوشيال ميديا بلاتفورمز، انه سوشيال بلاتفورمز مبنيه على الويب 3. يعني مثلا الاونر اوف تويتر لما باع تويتر لايلون ماسك اصلا هو عنده بروجكت ثاني ميديا بلاتفورم نفس تويتر بس يكون مبني على الويب 3. وفي برضه هلا بلاتفورم جديد فتح اسمه سايبر، فلسه يعني الامور بدايتها. ومواقع ستريمينج وميوزك كمان. فانت ككونتنت كرييتر بتخيل ممكن بالفتره الجاي راح تصير طريقه الاستفاده من هاي التكنولوجي اسهل واوضح يعني واكسسبل اكثر للكل.
Sorry.
What are your bets on? What are you good?
Oh, okay. Yeah. this is what I was going to start ranting about before and I stopped. So what I'm looking forward to, and as an entrepreneur in general, I like to get into businesses and have them work together. Why? The short story. So my background is real estate development, and I'm doing something completely different now. But what I'm eyeing on and banking on is once regulation permits, and it's something we are kind of developing on the sidelines, permits to certify a sale or transaction of real-life assets, as in apartments and collectible cars and you name it, any physical asset as well, to be able to be tokenized, fractionalized, and sold as NFTs, like Ali was explaining, to sell one painting for 1,000 people, which you're more likely to do than to one person. So once regulation wraps their head around fractionalizing any piece of paper, any contract, any collectible shoe that's going on auction, so that a lot of people can own one thing and they can profit share when it's sold or rented. So this is what I'm actually really hopeful for, because this will kind of change the way we do transactions. It will grow the market of potential buyers or sellers or users of your services, and will make transactions and the economy a much bigger world than especially with very expensive assets that have a very small target audience. Now it will be open and able for a lot of people to interact with.
Thank you very much, Jimmy. I think I'll give my opinion on this, that everything that we've been talking about now, it all funnels down to education. So I think in the coming years, what should happen is no one needs to understand the underlying technologies of anything, because when the internet was widely adopted, no one knew what HTTP is or what's happening in the back end, because no one cared. All they cared about is the added value that they're getting from this technology. And I think that once we reach this adoption, and once people are Web3 literate in some places, we're going to see more players in this space, which leads me to this training. So part of GIZ's global CCI program is to raise awareness about emerging technologies. And this NFT training is tailored to female creators from Jordan, Lebanon, Iraq, Senegal, Kenya, and South Africa. And it's going to be 2 sessions of around 60 to 90 minutes, and then one-on-one mentoring for these females on how to dabble into the NFT space, to understand what NFTs are and see if it's a fit to their art. And that's gonna happen in these dates, and please do apply on the email below if you're interested. And thank you very much for your, I'm sorry? And if you're interested as well, you need to speak with Ali for trainings that Taksir does. Shameless marketing, I love that. And thank you very much for your time, and I'm sure that there are a couple of questions. Yes, please go ahead. We're going to be very quick.
Oh, can you hear me? Okay. So in 2021, Bitcoin became the legal tender for El Salvador. So I'm wondering, how does an entire country's economy being tied to crypto affect the decentralization aspect? And do you think that more countries will also use crypto as their main legal tender?
I think you're going to answer this one. So she's talking about how how Bitcoin in 2021 became the legal tender of Salvador, and she's wondering if this is going to be spread out or to other countries.
I think they won't use Bitcoin as the main coin, but there is a hype now about CBDCs. I don't know if you heard about that. These are the cryptocurrency of the government that is using. I think we will use more crypto, but not more decentralized, because the governments won't let this happen. Salvador did that because they didn't have currency before, they had only USD. But for the well-established countries, now they are doing USDCs, CBDCs, starting I think from UK now are experimenting with this. Yes, Bitcoin.
I think this will affect decentralization of Web3 in general.
It's a different concept, kind of, because CBDC is owned by the government and by the central banks, and they have sultan. They have control over it. It's not decentralized at all. I highly doubt that governments will adopt, other than Salvador, will adopt a decentralized currency because they will lose their control.
Just as a explanation, CBDCs means central bank digital currency. So it's a digital currency created by the central bank to feed its population, but it's all centralized. So they do have control, opposed to decentralized.
They have more control than now.
100%.
It's going to be more
Because
control. They can control where you spend your money as well.
If you want to think of a case where it's very scary, if this happens, let's say you cross a red light, and there are cameras that see your license plate, and you get a ticket and you don't pay it, you wouldn't be able to buy your water the next day. So imagine that, because they know that you have a thing pending. So it's kind of scary as well to go for that. So we're still kind of finding them.
And it's sometimes a bit political, and I don't want to talk about politics at all, but I mean, politics exists. And it's sometimes political when countries ban crypto and they don't, because there are a lot of layers, behind that. So, yeah. Natalie wanted to pitch in.
No, my thing is like it gave a lot of opportunities. I was lucky enough to be in El Salvador and actually have that experience with Bitcoin, and it does give opportunities, and there's some differences that you see with the people, and like there were supermarkets where they only sell the stuff through Bitcoin. I feel like through education, perhaps we can do something, especially since there's a lot of people here from Mazarat that can play an impact. Let's see what happens.
Any other question?
My name is Ishan Darani. My question is, I'm kind of perplexed. I see you guys speaking about canceling the midline.
It's shaping the middleman. So sometimes you say like cutting out the middleman, but if we want to dive into it, it's more than shaping. For example, the art that in the art scene, Jimmy was saying that artists now 30 to 40% of their art is being given to that middleman, whether it's a gallery or a sponsor or whatnot. Now on marketplaces or NFT marketplaces, they don't sell this they don't give you the platform completely for a fee. But we're talking about 2% to 1% to 5%, which is, for an artist, it's gonna change their lives. So it's more of shaping the middleman.
I'm fine. It's just maybe I'm old. And when the digital came, it was the same speech. And that's why I'm a kind of, when I see Talabat today, I'm in Jordan, and I see the customer service and you're paying 30% of the commission, I feel like, why do we see the middleman as a bad thing? Because at the end of the day, you're creating space, and you will have salaries to pay, so, yeah.
If I may answer your question about the middleman, it's not always bad to have a middleman, as you said, but it is more related to the value that it's being taken from the product and the service provider to someone that's almost not doing anything, and this is affecting the economy in general. This is what's creating inflation. When you get easy money, this is what gets us into inflation. Eliminating the middleman is not that we will eliminate the middleman that is doing nothing, but the value that this middleman is cutting will be distributed from between, if you're ordering food, like you said, between drivers and restaurant owners and you as a consumer. Why someone like an owner of an application will take 30% for doing nothing, just exposing this to that, although you can do this on your own. So just transferring the value that the middleman is taking to our hand again, that we can benefit from, and we can go into some deflationary economy, hopefully.
And just adding to that, as the person that said cutting the middleman. So basically, it's not that you're cutting the whole process that's happening, but if, okay, you're taking the location, the space, the electricity, and the personnel that you're paying for. That's a good reason to be paying a percentage, but the rest is marketing, right? It's just the space that's known for artists, which is a gallery. So when you create the platform for them, the gallery, the virtual gallery if you want, and you help artists to market themselves, that's when you can drop down from 40% to 2% transaction fees like we do. So that's it. That's just changing.
Thank you. One more question.
Yeah. I am Muayyad from Cointelegraph. I have a question like, is there any way to get free NFT? Like, I want to get free NFT. Is there any way, any place?
Yeah, free?
Yeah.
Free NFT?
Yeah, free NFT. Like,
أنا ببعت لك واحدة عنوان.
whitelist.
Whitelist.
Like, if there's like
Okay.
activities I can do.
Yeah. So an example of a free NFT is something called a POAP. Thank you. A POAP means it's an abbreviation for a proof of attendance. So it's a protocol, proof of attendance protocol, but you can go get a POA, which is a proof of attendance. So let's say this event, you would get a QR code at the door while you're walking out. Right? And you scan this code, you get airdropped or sent a free NFT that is your proof of attendance to this event. Why an event organizer might want to do that is because if you get more than one POA, you could get something for it. You can get an opportunity to speak and present your company, you can get an opportunity to network with other people, some private access. So this is kind of a membership program or strategy that event organizers can do. So yes, there are a lot of use cases where free NFTs are within the mix of transactions.
Yeah, maybe next time we have.
Definitely.
That's up to IDare. That's up to IDare and the
We
IDare.
offer all of our services.
You have to pay.
بس بدي أضيف على سؤالك، أنا هون حتى بالأردن شاركت بإيفنت كانوا عاملينه ريد بول الصراحة، وكان برضه له دخل في الديجيتال ارت. فاز بارتيسيبنت في الاخر اعطوا لكل البارتيسيبنتس NFT، بعثوا لنا اياها على الولد از بروف اوف بارتيسيبيشن. فهي بالاخر ديجيتال اسيت، يعني ما يعني بتخيل الجنريشنز الاصغر ممكن يفهموا هذا الموضوع اكثر يعني ويقدروا الفاليو تاعتها.
احيانا اتوقع في حفل مولانا قبل مده كمان اعطوا، وبالعاده مثلا يكون هاي الحفله مثلا بتحصل كل مده، ممكن بعد 10 سنين القيمه الثانيه تكون انه انت كنت بهاي السنه موجود ممكن تبيعها، فممكن بيوم من الايام تسوي هيك شيء ان شاء الله. الفنانين موجودين ممكن تعمل.
Yes.
Okay. So when we're talking about NFTs, احنا بنحكي عن basically خلينا نحكي artworks.
So
Digital asset.
it's a digital asset. It's when you say NFTs, it's a non-fungible token. When you say non-fungible, it means it's unique. So think of the Mona Lisa. There's one Mona Lisa in the world. You cannot replicate it, but that's digital. It's not physical, it's digital. And it doesn't always have to be art. It can be any piece of data. It can be any metadata. You can turn anything into an NFT, a video, a text, a poem. Anything can be turned into a digital asset.
Okay. So خلينا نحكي creating NFTs إنه إذا أنا عندي مثلا collection of images أو خلينا نحكي text that I created أو إنه digital art. How can I turn them into NFTs?
You're gonna join the workshop that's called Web3 and NFT workshop. That's in like an hour, and then you're gonna turn your art into an NFT. That's like the first workshop after this session, after launch. It's exactly for this. It's to walk people through the journey of turning their art into NFTs. So please do join that workshop. It's 2 hours and a half, so we need some time. All right. Thank you. Oh, عفوا. تفضل.
مرحبا. بدي أسأل كيف ممكن نقنع المنظمات غير ربحية إنهم يبلشوا يعملوا NFT أو يعني يخلوا الارتست يعملوا NFT ويبلشوا يدعموا مثلا يكون في مثلا كراود فاندنج لما أنت تدفع مصاري أو تدعم هاي المنظمة يعطوها المنظمة تعطيك هاي ال NFT.
هلا اسمحوا لي اجاوب. هلا بدي احكي برضه اكزامبل عن الاردن. الموضوع هذا بده ريجوليشنز ونحن هون لسه ستيل ما في اني ريجوليشن ريليتد لهذا الموضوع. والشيء الوحيد اللي بنقدر نبلش فيه هو الاديوكيشن، من هون ليصير في ريجوليشن. لانه هذا المجال فيه كثير فرص. عندنا هون انا بحب اشكر الصراحه GIZ IDare لانهم بلشوا بهذا الموضوع وكانوا اول NGO بيشتغلوا بهذا المجال. وبرضه GIZ لهم جلوبال بروجكت زي ما انت شايف ورا، يعني اوريدي بلشوا يهتموا في هذا المجال ويدعموه. ومشاركتهم هاي يعني فتحت عيون الNGOs الثانيه برضه انهم يتدخلوا ويعملوا سيميلر بروجكتس ليفيدوا الكوميونتي بالاخر.
حابة أزيد ليك عمل ورك شوب قبل أسبوعين كان مع IDare بالورك شوب لاحظنا إنه كثير من المشتركين كانوا مهتمين وكانوا يعني بدهم يتعلموا، وبعديها صار يسألوا وعملنا واتساب جروب وين صار في هلا كوميونتي ما كانت موجودة من قبل. بحس كثير مهم لNGOs ووزارات يكونوا مهتمين بالإديوكيشن تاع المستقبل تاع الويب 3.
أنا غير المنظمات يعني لا دور المنظمات إنه يكون عندها هي NFTs.
Okay, so kind of a membership program أو شركة.
Yeah.
Okay. So هو بدك ترجع أنت لهي الشركة شو اليوز كيس تبع NFT لها. So إذا أنت شركة مثل ستاربكس أنت بيهمك اللويالتي بروجرام. So ال NFT فيها تكون كأنه when you go buy a coffee and punch your card. بس instead ما يكون card بتضيعه بيكون in your wallet digitally. Every time you go تاخذ مثلا مثل proof of attendance or proof of اشتريت coffee. وكل مرة بتشتري 10 بيطلع لك واحدة ببلاش. That's one use case for one company that works. Another one is Nike. Nike, you can buy the NFT, you can forge a shoe, yeah, you're buying it and you're paying for its production before it's even happening. And you're part of a community now, so في two folds شو عم يطلع لك. And it all depends هي الكمباني شو بتقدم services or products وتعرف كيف تعمل kind of a promotion to engage with your community, to have a deeper relationship with your consumers ولا تخلق a gimmick يستفيدوا منه يحسوا حالهم part من البراند لأنه عم تعطيهم شيء ب their wallet. They own something now that's part of your brand. So it's a deeper engagement with the user.
في NGO يعني خاصة عملت هذا الشيء NGO مش شركة.
There are a lot of NGOs all over the world that are experimenting. Nothing has been, official yet. But you understand because NGOs have a lot of layers as well, and diving into technologies and using it as a use case is not something they are interested in. They are interested in raising awareness, as we're doing right now. We're raising awareness about this technology. However, about NFTs, because we've been talking in the realm of the cultural and creative industries, we've been, taking that as a specific area of NFTs, but NFTs have a lot of utilities attached to it. NFTs are being used in Germany, for example. They're used in insurance companies. They are being used in healthcare. They're being used in ticketing. So it's a technology that can bleed into several industries and not just art. And it really depends on the business model of the company, of the said company, and how NFTs would add value to that company rather than just, saying that we want to start having NFTs. It should have an added value to the end user.
One example is the Children's Cancer Center of Lebanon that we're working with now to detail a certain NFT collection that would basically support the sickly children.
عبد الله please from N.F.T بالعربي.
لو معكم عبد الله. في على المثال على اللي حكاه، اشتغلنا مع اويسز وقت الزلزال اللي صار بسوريا، عملنا كولكشن كانت مجموعه من الارتست وعملناها بوقت كثير سريع عشان نلم لنحكي دعم لاخواننا بسوريا. وطلعت بهذاك الوقت كثير NGOs ومنظمات استخدمت الNFTs لحتى تدعم وتودي فلوس هناك، وكانت كلياتها مبينه والريجوليشنز تبعتها تقريبا واضحه. ففي يوز كيس كانت واضحه على هذا الموضوع تحديدا، وكان لها نيد، يعني كان الكل بيقدر يشارك من اي مكان بالعالم بدون ما يخاف من موضوع كريدت كارد او شيء، خلص على كريبتو كرنسي ويحول.
صح. It was a relief initiative for the victims of the Syrian earthquakes. So within a week, we were able to create an NFT collection, to market it and promote it, and to get investments from all around the world to have. So there are a lot of use cases for CSR.
That's the thing with crowdfunding or helping or doing good, is that people sometimes think the $10 that they've paid is the $10 that the end person is getting, which is seldom the case. But here, because of blockchain, and that's why this technology is being used for the good, because of blockchain, you can see every single penny, where did it funnel to, and who took a part of it or whatnot. So it's really all about transparency in the end.
And in this case, it is honorable to remove the middleman, right? When it's for aid for people, like if they can get the 100% of their investment, it's good.
Thank you very much. We're running out of time. Thank you, Dr. Iya. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you in the workshop, hopefully. Thank you.